And we're off to the races. As expected, a certain political candidate has won the elections, which has caused a substantially green outcome in the markets, which we love to see. So in today's video, we're going to be going through everything you need to know regarding airdrop positioning, portfolio management, and specifically what I'm doing in this market to best position myself and make the most out of this potentially beautiful couple months or a year ahead. Let's get started. So what does all of this mean for you? Everybody has to make their own strategy, of course, and always, depending where you are on your financial journey, depends how much risk you're going to be taking. It comes to no surprise that if you're only starting, you're going to be needing to take a lot more risks. This is where airdrops come in beautifully, because you can make a lot of money with not taking too much risk financially. You're only going to be risking your time. In this case, you have a couple options on EVM chains, Solana, and others. We will be focused primarily on the stuff that has been working the best over the last 2 years, but who knows really what the future brings. Of course, if you have a lot more capital, then you might need to use capital preservation strategies, and those will actually come in handy near the end of the video, where we'll talk about portfolio management side of things. So from the EVM, I'm really losing bullishness by the day. Honestly, Ethereum ecosystems have been underperforming compared to rest, what we have available, such as Solana, Bitcoin, Aptos, Sui, and many others. But I am still slightly exposed to ETH in primarily eigenlayer and eigenlayer derivatives, such as example is mitosis. If you still want to participate in something related to eigenlayer, or you just want some place to park your ETH instead of just having it sitting idly in Ledger, then potentially mitosis might be one thing to do. Another potential target for EVM chains is Tyco. This one was very profitable for some people in our Discord in Season 1, but I have not personally done it myself. However, Season 2 is ending in December, which might mean that even though the cat could be out of the box right now, pushing transactions on Tyco and generating some volume might actually be very worthwhile in the next couple of weeks. And finally, we have Zora. As you know, Zora has recently claimed a domain for claim.zora, which might indicate that we might have an airdrop sometime later this year or early next year, but it is, of course, very speculative, as most airdrops tend to be. However, that could be a big advantage, and if you're planning to get some Zora allocation potentially in the future, there's two things you can do. You can go to Zora trending page and maybe get some mints and even potentially cash in on the price appreciation of these NFTs. But you can also take a slightly safer approach with Boost, and here on Boost platform you can find many NFTs that are actively being paid by the NFT creator for you to mint. So they basically refund you, even in some cases, 90% of what you pay for the NFT. This is a great Zora strategy. Now let's explore some underrated opportunities on Solana, starting with Meteora. As you know, Meteora is reserved 10% of its liquidity, so of their MET token is going to be for the stimulus package, and this means that LPs on Meteora and users are going to be receiving a part of this. This was scheduled for 2024, but due to bear market, it has been postponed till 2025. In their Discord, the mods have been saying that it is all going to be in the next couple of months, token generation event, and potentially this stimulus package. Now, what you can do with Meteora is very straightforward. If you're a little more advanced user, you can, of course, use the LMMs, which is a concentrated liquidity mechanism. But if you prefer to just have some assets on the network, you can also just go with pools. These are a little less risky, but of course, impermanent loss is always something to concern yourself with. And if you're going to be on the safer side of things, you can go with the potentially some of these liquid staking tokens, such as Marinate Sol, BSol, or others, and this way you minimize your risk when it comes to impermanent loss, and you still have exposure to Meteora airdrop potentially, as well as price appreciation of Sol, which has been up 20% on the daily, which is absolutely crazy. Most important thing to notice about this is that you actually get a lot of kind of points, which they don't have a points dashboard, but again, it is all being tracked. For every $1 in fees, it counts as if you've generated $1,000 in liquidity per day. So this is also very good. It actually rewards people who are active and generating a lot of fees on the platform. And another Solana project that you might want to pay attention to is Eclipse. It is in the intersection between Ethereum and Solana as a Solana virtual machine. Recently, we made an update on this, so not to repeat myself, you have all the news and updates. Of course, if you want to search for a specific topic on the website, you simply go on the search tab and write in what you're interested in. You will find all the videos regarding the topic right here. And finally, we have a very speculative and niche opportunity with Pulse. This is branded as a Web3 Whoop on Solana. There is a monad angle going on here, and I'm hoping to replicate the Solana Saga phone, so a crypto phone. There is a similar kind of vibe going on here, but currently it is super hard to even get in for this. You need a code, you need to actually apply. It's a process, but if you're willing to burn a couple $100 for potentially a very decent airdrop speculation in the future, we can continue in comments or in our Discord. And when it comes to Cosmos, honestly, I'm not very bullish on the ecosystem as I used to be. At the moment, TIA Celestia token is the only one whose technology and modularity principles I can really stand behind. So if you're planning to hold some TIA, the best way to do that is potentially with the Kepler dashboard. You simply select the staking validator you're going to go with and make sure it's not a centralized exchange. You can choose whichever you want, but usually I just go with zeta because he's a fellow YouTuber and really an incredible source of Cosmos Alpha in general. Now let's move into a potentially most profitable niche, which is bridge airdrops. If we're looking at 2024, Wormhole, Layer 0 to some extent, those were amazing airdrops, and that might still happen still with Hyperlane. Hyperlane has already announced their token. Hyperlane Foundation is alive and well, and we might actually receive this in the next couple of months. There's been no specific information regarding a snapshot being taken, so I'm still pushing transactions and I'm still actively using most Hyperlane dApps. Of course, the most used one is Merkley. This one you can send your assets between many different chains. They keep adding new ones for a very small fee. However, you can also use some other dApps, and all of the list is actually in their link tree. They keep adding new applications. It is actually crazy, and we've covered Hyperlane many times already, but of course their flagship product is Use Nexus Bridge. This one you can use for many different routes, even between Solana and EVM chains, but primarily you can use this one between EVM and Cosmos. And another bridge solution that of course needs no introduction is Jumper. Jumper Exchange is just basically all-encompassing solution where you have so many different blockchains and they always aggregate the best route. And recently I have to give a shout out to Mayan Finance because I've been sending some funds to Solana. I've used, of course, Jumper's UI to use Mayan Finance, and even though the solution was passed, it actually gave wrong rates. And just in a couple minutes I was like, hey guys, this is actually not showing the exact rates, so just the next guy fix this UI maybe, and then they actually refunded the difference. So it's crazy. Yeah. So little things make a great product usually, so big shout out to Mayan Finance for that. Of course, it's not always best news. In the spirit of objectivity, we have to say the bad as well. Perpetual DEX airdrops in 2024 were really suboptimal compared to the rest of what the market offers. The only best ones, the only decent ones were Zeta and Drift, and those were even just a couple $100. So yeah, unless you're actually a trader and you actually want to pay the on-chain fees that you usually don't have to pay, other than, of course, funding fees on centralized exchanges, it is actually not recommended to do this because you might actually lose some money trading. And yeah, the airdrops have not really paid off for the time invested. It's primarily the time invested that makes sense. If you're actually a trader, then yeah, definitely you can consider the perp DEX airdrops. We're waiting for Rage Trade. There is some potential with Rhea still. Once the variance one, the Santiago covered DEX, comes into mainnet, maybe we should trade something there. But again, don't do this if you're not a trader. I would really just skip this part if you don't know how to trade. And before we jump into the portfolio management side of things, remember that we have a private Discord where we discuss all of these topics in much more detail. And if you want a community of people who are serious about this space, who are constantly coming up with new strategies to make money with airdrops and DeFi, this might be a place for you. We also have an ongoing giveaway going on just now until November 8th. I'm super excited to potentially host more of these in the future as bull market picks up. If this is something that interests you, make sure to check the subscriptions page as well as an airdrop tracking application that will help you keep organized with all the stuff that you're doing in the cryptoverse. Now, let's say you're in phase 2 and you actually have some money in crypto and you need to allocate it accordingly. In this case, we have several options. Of course, none of this is financial advice, but this is something that has worked really well over the last couple of months and years. So here goes. The best thing I have with my capital right now is just generating me 10% every month, and this is with Chris. Of course, this is the NFT that we've been talking about forever. We just had another payment of the program just a couple of days ago. Everything is going on smooth, and I have nothing bad to say about this. Another one that you can consider is Infinex. Infinex is really under the radar opportunity, which is doing an account abstraction model, and we've already covered it a couple of times, so I'll not repeat myself. Same strategy as always. You can simply find the videos. But yeah, this is maybe really going to be one of the better things out there. At the moment, you can even play a bull run, which is their game, where you basically select 5 crypto assets that you believe will perform best in the 24-hour period. And there's some rewards if you actually score among the top players. Now, regarding other ecosystems, of course, we have Aptos, Sui, and Ton. Again, we've covered this many times, so you can see much more details about all of these in the website. But if you want to focus on something a little bit different, then Bitcoin ecosystem is just a gold mine of value, airdrops, and maybe even price appreciation. In this ecosystem, I'm mostly focused on Nats, Stacks. This is a Bitcoin layer 2. Nats is basically non-arbitrary token. It is a whole philosophy, if you will. Block runners are the guys on YouTube who have done an absolute banger with this whole concept, so I highly recommend you check them out if you still are not familiar with what we're talking about here. We have a specific channel in our Discord dedicated to this niche, and it has been incredibly profitable over the last year and a half, so highly recommend not to fade. And finally, new player on the menu is Tap. Tap protocol is kind of trying to concentrate liquidity on Bitcoin layer 1, so we don't have to worry about bridging and bridge exploits and wrapped version of tokens. So yeah, these are the 3 things I'm mostly focused on in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Of course, there are many others that we talk about, such specific NFTs, some hot mints, some other strategies like Fractal. I'm not even going to mention Fractal in this case because the hype is almost over, but if you're still bullish on it, then potentially this is going to be a good entry. And that is a short summary of all the active airdrop strategies we still believe are worth doing, as well as portfolio management tips and tricks that we believe will yield the best results in the coming period. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. If you have any comments or questions, I'm waiting for you in the comment section below, as well as in our Discord. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Till next time, have an amazing day.